For latest updates and short audio clips, follow us on Instagram, Reading the Author.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast Reading the Author, a unique show where we read authors' mind and not their book. Meanwhile, I truly believe and pray that you and your families are completely safe and healthy as well. Guys, today we have Pawan Kumar Marella sir with us, and he's the author of Dear Rookie, Don't Panic, your cheat sheet for thriving at work. Thank you so much sir for coming on the show. I'm truly grateful कि आप हमारे शो पर आए.
Completely my pleasure. Thanks for hosting me.
Likewise, sir. So, sir, before we get into the podcast and know much more about your book, about your upcoming projects and other things, I would request you to please introduce yourself so that our listeners can know much more about you, and do let us know कि आपने ये writing की journey कैसे start की.
Thanks. So my name is Pawan. I like to say I'm 22, but that's not 22 in age. It's 22 years working in the corporate sector. I mean, like everybody else, I had a very normal upbringing. I grew up in Hyderabad and Calcutta in India. I did my engineering and MBA, and finally landed up working. And that's where my journey started in the corporate world. I've worked across many cities in India. Then I spent many years in Africa as well. And now I'm based out of London, in my current stint. So that's my professional side. Personally, I'm married. I met my wife Ruchi while working at work because they make you work so hard that the only people you meet are the people at work. So we met at work, we fell in love, got married, still happily married, and we have two young boys who are 8 and 11. So that's on the personal side. And on the writing side, it's always been there. It's been in bits and pieces, writing blogs, writing on LinkedIn, doing presentations internally. And somewhere all of that came together after many years to say, why don't I put it together in one place? Almost like a therapy session for myself, if I may say. And then that turned out into a book that now I've shared with the whole world as well.
Okay. Definitely, sir. What I can personally see, sir, that the book is performing really well because more than 130 reviews, and that too with 4.7 rating is completely awesome. People are really loving this book. And when it comes to talking from a new reader's perspective, because after listening to this podcast, many people will just love to explore the book. They might be interested in reading and buying it too. Moreover, the title of the book is really catchy, sir. I must say that. And so when it comes to talking from a new reader's perspective, what a new reader can expect from this book? Can you share some insights?
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe I'll put it in 3 simple bullet points. I think the first thing is it's a very real, relatable survival guide for anyone starting in their career. That's what I think. Second, I think it has no jargon. इसमें कोई ज्ञान नहीं है. It's just simple stories of my experience, my mistakes, and what I learned from them, because no one teaches you that. And the third is, think of it as a book where you can just pick it up anytime. Think of it as a work best friend meeting your older brother or sister who you can just call or pick up and ask for advice when you need it. So that's what I think people can expect from this book.
Okay, definitely, sir. So definitely it's going to be a go-to guide kind of thing, what I personally felt. Am I right?
Absolutely. I think, forget other people. I think even I open it every other day because, it's one thing to experience things. The other thing is we keep forgetting. So I open a random page every other day to read it and remember saying, oh, this is what I experienced and I should not forget it. So think of it as a daily guide where you can open up to absolutely any page, and there should be something there that you should give you an aha moment for the day as you start. So
kind of Gita for work people, right? Because ऐसा बोला जाता है कि आप कैसा भी फील कर रहे हो, कोई भी परेशानी हो, you can just open Gita, you will get the correct answer. So kind of like that.
Yeah, that would be a bit too very high thing to say, but think of it as as something your older brother or sister would call you and tell you, saying, "Aaj bhulna mat." Remember.
ये सुन के जाओ.
Yes, सुन के जाओ. Correct.
Welcome. Okay. So, sir, as we talked about the perspective of a new reader, So when it comes to talking from a person who have already read this book, because we will be sharing on social media too, so probably most of the people who have already read your book will also listen to this podcast. So as of now, what they can expect from you as of now? Like, you want to experience or experiment a bit on some other genres too, or you want to stick to these only? What is in the pipeline as of now?
That's a very good question. I think one of the things that I've realized as I've written the book is this outpouring of people who have reached out to me, talking to me about how the book is helping them and seeking more advice or feelings. So I think the first thing is this is just the start of the journey. So I've started writing a lot more on LinkedIn to share my experiences that I'm going through every day, even now. So I think that's the first thing that people can definitely expect to know. I do reach out to people offering mentorship if they reach out to me on LinkedIn, if I can help individual people, because I really believe if you can even help one person deeply, that does make a difference. So that's something that I will continue to offer both my time and effort into. And if God is kind and things work out, maybe there will be another book in the pipeline sometime soon.
Okay, definitely. So my next question of this podcast will be, sir, like, I have been personally in conversation with around more than 450 to 500 authors, because this podcast is a kind of 4-year-old and we are in this industry for more than 8 years as of now. So what I have personally seen that, most of the authors are trying to be known or trying to be remembered as a certain genre या फिर certain type of author. So when it comes to you, have you ever thought about this? क्योंकि आज से 1-2 साल बाद अगर कोई देखेगा कि it's a new book by पवन सर and उसने आपकी पहले से बुक पढ़ी हुई है कोई और जो ऑलरेडी रिलीज हो चुकी है, सो उसके माइंड में क्या सडन थॉट आना चाहिए? ठीक है, पवन सर की बुक ऐसी होगी या ये पढ़ने को मिलेगा, इस टाइप की होगी, इस टॉपिक पे होगी, या ऑथेंटिसिटी होगी? कभी सोचा इस बारे में फ्रॉम अ पर्सनल ब्रांडिंग पर्सपेक्टिव?
कभी सोचा तो नहीं है, लेकिन अभी सोच रहा हूँ. आई थिंक दैट्स द ब्यूटी ऑफ टॉकिंग टू समवन सच एज यू who's engaged with so many people. So let me think real time and I'll tell you. I think for me, उतना आगे का मैंने सोचा नहीं है. So that's the first thing. So that's the honest, real answer. But if I do, like I said, get to a point where I write more or I talk more, for me, it's always about being practical. That comes from my values and beliefs. Everybody, when you talk of personal branding, it boils down to who you are, what you believe, how you want to show up. So for me, that's always being practical. Okay. Second, it's always being very real and authentic. And the third is always being simple, right? Because those are the three things. So anything that should come from me, I think will satisfy or will live up to those three things of being practical, authentic, and simple.
Okay. So, sir, like, after the first lockdown was over, the numbers of author got increased very rapidly. Like, this industry has seen a kind of boom. And when it comes to publishing, it has become much more easier because we have KDP, lots of self-publishing houses are there, literary agents, and traditional publishing is there. So when it comes to you, as you have completed this whole journey and you're on the other side of the river as of now, what I feel. So according to you, how hard it has become to make your book stand out in the market? Because every week we get, around 100 plus authors are being released, like books are being published. So how hard, according to you, it has been?
Yeah, I think first, it is really amazing to see the number of people writing and publishing, because it shows that there is so much amazing things that people want to share. I think that's the first thing that I really appreciate, when people are publishing their books either through publishers or self-publishing, or even just writing something on platforms like LinkedIn in my area. I think it's stunning. And I think you find, the first thing I've realized is people find you, right? So if you're putting out something that is relevant for that particular individual or group of people, over time people find you. So the first thing is, yes, it's difficult, but it is something that people find you if you spend enough time and do it continuously and do it consistently. The second thing, I think, is being absolutely clear on who your target audience is. Like, who is this book for? Like, when I have written this book, I have written it for people who got a job and have joined an organization and are feeling very lost. So it's a very specific audience that I was targeting, and then where to find them and how to engage with them. So that's the second part. And the third and the last part is, I guess, you have to be creative. right? As with anything in marketing or advertising, which is my home field, if you do things in a very boring way, then you will just get missed. Today, we're living in an attention-starved world, and so you have to really focus on how can I be creative to get that person's attention and make it valuable for them in terms of the time they're giving you. So maybe those are the three things.
Okay, definitely, sir. So sir, like as we shared, keep publishing, and what I also feel कि publishing एक बहुत छोटा सा part है when it comes to talking about a book perspective, and marketing and distribution is a complete game changer, because publishing हर कोई कर लेता है, but marketing and distribution is something ना जो बहुत कम लोग crack कर पाते हैं. So as your book has been so much loved by people, and you are constantly, and not constantly I would say, but you are somewhat into marketing too. So कोई ऐसी एक दो चीज जो आप बता सके हमारे लिसनर्स को जो कि आपके लिए बहुत अच्छा वर्क है कि नहीं, इस चीज का आरओआई बहुत अच्छा था, एंड आई वुड रिकमेंड कि अगर कोई नया ऑथर सुन रहा है तो वो भी इन चीजों को ट्राई कर सकता है अगर उसका मन हो तो, एनीथिंग लाइक दैट?
Oh, absolutely. And first, of course, I'm also learning. Maybe seek around because the book is just out, and maybe if you ask this question to me 1 year later, I'll have a more elaborate answer. But again, I think there are three things. I think the first is not to underestimate the power of your own network and the people you know, and reaching out to them directly. Right. So if you're writing a professional book like me, then using the contacts you have on LinkedIn to reach out to people directly with a little bit of effort, I'm reaching out to you personally. That definitely has the highest, ROI or impact. That's one. Two is anything that you do has to be platform native. So if you're doing something on Instagram, then it has to be videos and has to be photos. You can't write, long form content there, because that's not what the platform is for. So really understanding the platform you're using. And third is really believing in the power of word of mouth and community. People want to help, right? But you have to ask, right?
Exactly.
So, if somebody is reading a book, you have to ask, if you don't mind, please leave a rating or a review. Sometimes we're too shy. So the highest ROI is probably just asking people for help, saying, please do help and support.
Agree on that. Yeah, definitely. So as of now, what's your current writing schedule, sir? Like every day you devote some particular hours to your writing, or it's like random कि कभी कोई thought आया तो बैठ के phone में डायरी में लिख लिया, बाद में बैठ के elaborate कर रहे हैं? How does it goes with you?
It's maybe the latter. So when I was finishing the book and polishing it up, I had a very disciplined schedule of spending an hour every night, because then you had to really be in the zone. So once everybody went to sleep, I used to sit for an hour, really have lots of paper around me, think and write. Now that it's out, I do a bit of random thinking. So if I'm walking outside or in a train and a thought comes to me, I just jot it down, and then I come back to it and then try and sharpen it. So it's a mix of both.
Definitely, sir. And what I also personally feel that, sometimes when the deadline, or sometimes you want something to do really quick, you have to be in that particular zone. You have to create those environment, and you don't want to leave that particular thing, because उसके बाद वापस जाना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है.
Well, that is so true, because it's something I write in the book as well, saying last minute panic is okay. कभी-कभी वो deadline चाहिए होता है. Where someone says or publisher says, और आपने खुद का deadline लगाया कि बहुत आज खत्म करना है. There is a different kind of creative juice that flows through you, is what I have personally noticed. सब distraction चले जाते हैं. You get that intense focus.
That laser sharp clarity is there. Yeah.
100%.
So, sir, now let's get back to the time when you heard कि okay, ठीक है, tomorrow your book will be live on Amazon, or in front of the whole world. Everybody will be able to buy it, read it, judge you on the basis of what you have written, because mostly ऐसा ही सोचा जाता है कि एक author वही चीजें लिखता है जो उसके दिमाग में होता है. It's a reflection जो उसके book है, right? So when it comes to you on that particular eve, like एक दिन पहले उस शाम को, what was going on your mind? Like were you excited, relaxed? You just marked up some milestones कि ठीक है, इतने लोग जानते हैं, इतना सेल करना होगा बुक को, या फिर ऐसे परफॉर्म करेगी, ये milestones होंगे. क्या चल रहा था आपके दिमाग में?
Such a good question. I think there were two things. I think at one level I was scared, because exactly like you said, one thing is to say that I feel it's a good book, my publisher
Yeah.
thought about it. But अब दुनिया के सामने लगाते हो and it's open for scrutiny,
Yeah.
and then people who are reading it, they don't know you. They will judge it on the actual content.
True.
And this book has so many personal stories and personal anecdotes, and I was really scared. Uh, but equally, I was excited, to say, it's like a new adventure. Like you said before, publishing is just one thing. I was like, let's see if I truly am a good marketer, if I can build, the awareness and excitement and engagement with the book. So at one level, I was scared, and at the other level, I was hugely excited for what was coming and what I had to do next.
Mhm. Okay. So, sir, now let's get back to the present moment. And as of now, as an author, as a person, what are the things which you are focusing upon in life?
Wow, that's a deep question. I think first is health. The biggest thing I've realized through my 22 years is health first and rest everything
Exactly.
follows.
True.
Right? When we are younger, or when I was younger, it's like that you're able to do a lot more. It's like a phone which is fully charged, and it's a new phone and it's fully charged, so लंबा चलता है. But over time वो phone भी पुराना हो जाता है और charging भी कम हो जाता है, and it takes longer to recharge. So it's the one thing, and why do I say one thing is it's health is multi-dimensional for me, as I've realized. There is physical health, there is mental health, there is emotional health, there is spiritual health, there is purposeful health. So I think to me, that's if you would ask me saying, "आप एक चीज क्या कर रहे हो?" It is health. And the second thing, and maybe the last thing I'm doing, is just having a sense of adventure. एक ही चीज करने में मजा नहीं आता मेरे को. I'm like, okay, what is next? Be it at job, or be it in my personal life, or be it with the book. What's some new fun things I can do to feel alive? अगर कुछ नया नहीं कर रहे हो तो you don't feel alive. So those are the two things I would say: health and adventure.
Okay. So, sir, probably my last question to this podcast will be like, after listening to this podcast, many people will just start writing, or they might be holding their first draft in the laptop, diary, in the notebook. So what would be your advice for those upcoming authors?
From my experience, first of all, I would say clap for yourself. अगर आप लिख रहे हो, it's a big thing. बहुत लोगों के दिमाग में आइडिया आता है, लेकिन बहुत कम लोग उसको आगे ले जाते हैं. So I think first is clap for yourself. Feel very proud. You're doing an amazing thing that you even started on the journey. It's a big thing. I think that's the one thing. Second is it's going to be a long journey. It's a marathon. So आप आराम से भागिए, don't sprint. Plan for the marathon. Keep your energy level sane and keep going. And the third is, anticipate rejection. Rejection आने वाला है. जब आप किसी को दिखाओगे, not everybody will like it. Not every publisher will want it. Some things you'll learn. But anticipate that rejection and plan for the eventual success. That's the three things I would say, to absolutely anyone who's on this journey.
Perfect. So true. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I hope you must have enjoyed this lovely and inspiring conversation with Pawan sir. And if you do, then do follow our podcast, Reading the Author, available on all the leading podcast platforms. And don't forget to buy and read the book. आप just Amazon पे जाएं, वहाँ पे सर्च कर सकते हैं पवन कुमार मरेला सर की बुक आ जाएगी, जरूर खरीदें. या फिर बुक का नाम भी आप सर्च कर सकते हैं, डियर रुकी डोंट पैनिक. आ जाएगी बुक, जरूर खरीदें, पढ़ें और अपने चाहने वाले, जानने वालों के साथ जरूर शेयर करें. थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर कमिंग ऑन आवर शो. इट वाज माय ऑनर टू बी एबल टू होस्ट यू टुडे.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day and take care.
You too, sir.